What do you do when the person you betrayed acts like you don't even exist? That's the question I've been wrestling with for weeks. My name is Isabel. I'm 32. And somehow, I became that woman. The one who shattered the most stable, loving part of her life for a fleeting thrill. I never imagined I'd end up here, alone in a cheap studio apartment, surrounded by silence, haunted by memories I can never undo. It all began 6 years ago when I met Nathan. Everything felt effortless, almost magical. We clicked instantly. 8 months later, we were living together. By year 2, we bought a cozy little house tucked in a quiet suburb. Everyone said we were the definition of happiness. And for a long time, I believed them. Nathan was steady, attentive, the kind of man who brought me coffee just the way I liked it, rubbed my feet after long workdays, and never mocked my obsession with trashy reality TV. He made life feel safe. But somewhere along the line, that spark started to fade. For years in, our life had become predictable. Work, dinner, TV, bed, repeat. The spontaneous date nights, little surprises, lingering kisses. They were gone. It was comfortable, yes, but also monotonous. I started noticing the distance. He wasn't texting as often during the day. He came home later, and when he did, his eyes barely met mine. But instead of opening up, truly talking to him, I began listening to other voices. "You're settling," Kira whispered during our girls' nights. "You're still young, Izzy. Don't waste your life being bored." Lana, another friend who treated marriage like a hobby, echoed the same thought. "If he's not making you feel wanted, someone else will." Entered Dylan, the new guy at my office. Sharp suits, confident smirk, and a way of making me feel like I was the only person in the room. First, it was harmless banter. Then came the texts, first about work, then music, weekend plans, childhood wounds. He listened. He laughed. He saw me. I told myself it was just friendly. But deep down, I wanted him to see me the way I used to feel. Attractive, desired, exciting. The first kiss happened after work happy hour. In his car, music low, lips dangerously close. I went home that night feeling sick, but alive in a way I hadn't in years. The guilt came first, but with every drink, every stolen glance, every late night at the office, it became easier to justify. Nathan was too comfortable, too distracted, too oblivious. And then I did the unthinkable. Nathan said he had to work late. I saw my chance. I invited Dylan over to our home, the same room where Nathan once kissed my forehead and whispered that I was his forever. I won't go into details. You know what happened. But I'll tell you this. It wasn't love. It was ego. Selfishness wrapped in wine-stained sheets and dim lighting. Part of me even wanted to get caught. Maybe Nathan would finally see how far we drifted. Maybe it would force him to fight for me. He didn't fight. That night, he came home early. I didn't even know. Dylan had already gone. I was left cleaning up, erasing lipstick from wine glasses, fluffing pillows we had no business lying on. When I greeted Nathan with a kiss, he flinched. "How was work?" I asked, pretending nothing had happened. "Fine," he said. One word, devoid of emotion. He didn't eat dinner, didn't sit beside me on the couch, slept in the guest room. The next morning, he looked at me like I was a stranger. "I want to break up," he said, eyes fixed on his coffee mug. "What? Why?" Panic surged. "I just do. You need to move out by next week." And that was it. No shouting, no confrontation, just silence. Ice-cold silence that screamed louder than any argument ever could. I begged him to talk. He refused. Called, texted, ignored. I reached out to our friends. Most stopped answering. Even his sister, who once called me her bonus sibling, went cold and distant. "Are you seriously asking what you did?" she snapped before hanging up. And then it clicked. He knew. I didn't know how. Maybe he came home earlier than I thought. Maybe a neighbor saw Dylan's car. Maybe he just felt it. And worse, everyone else seemed to know, too. The next time I saw Nathan was when he came to collect the rest of his things. I stayed against his request. I needed to hear it out loud. And he said it. "I saw you in our bed with him." I tried to speak, but no words came. That wasn't a mistake, he said. That was betrayal. I begged for therapy, explanations, apologies. You didn't talk to me when you were unhappy, he said, eyes hollow. You just replaced me. And now I'm done. He walked out. 6 years gone. Left alone with guilt, shame, and the knowledge that I had burned the only person who ever truly loved me. Nathan, not Dylan anymore. His name had begun to feel like poison. Dylan kept reaching out, wanting to see me, wanting to make things official, as if we were Romeo and Juliet. I blocked him. Kira let me crash for a few weeks, though even she flinched when I confessed the full truth. You brought him into your house? She whispered. Jesus, Izzy. Eventually, I moved into a studio apartment with peeling paint and paper-thin walls. Took a new job, one that paid less, in a place where no one knew me or what I had done. Nathan thrived. I heard through a mutual friend that he got promoted, that he was dating someone new. She's beautiful. The kind of woman who likely appreciates the man I carelessly discarded. Sometimes I reach for my phone, tempted to apologize again, to ask if we could ever be something. But I don't. He was right. He doesn't owe me closure or forgiveness. And I don't deserve it. I lost Nathan. Our home. Our future. All for a fleeting illusion of being wanted by someone who never truly knew me. The worst part isn't the loneliness. It's knowing I chose this.